Thank you to Boxu for sponsoring this video. We're going to be trying some of their premium Japanese snacks a little later on. I enjoyed my time in the Hisui region. I like the vast open world, I like the picturesque natural landscapes, I like seeing Pokemon living their lives in their natural habitats, but there's one thing I don't like about it though. What's up with the lack of food? After helping these guys establish the foundation of early Pokemon research, not to mention saving the land from falling into darkness and ruin, the only thing they ever fed me was potato mochi. Potato mochi for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, potato mochi 24/7, potato mochi all the friggin' time. I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and put an end to this potato mochi streak by going back to the Pokemon Cookbook and making some cakes. I'm gonna try to make the Pichu egg cake and the Pikachu happy face cake and pairing it up with some neat Pokemon drinks. Admittedly, I've had a hard time with this cookbook before, so let's see if third time's the charm or if this is a hat trick of epic fail. Starting off with the Pichu egg cake, I wanted to do this recipe because it seemed super simple and because Pichu is just hella cute. The cookbook starts us off mixing 2 eggs with a 1/4 cup of sugar in a bowl. Then add in 4 tablespoons of milk and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and mix it all together. Then add in 3.5 ounces of pancake mix and blend it all together until you have a smooth batter. Why pancake mix instead of cake mix? I'm not sure, but I'm hoping it turns out alright. Then add in 2 to 3 drops of yellow food coloring to get it to match Pichu's vibrant yellow color. Pour in the batter into baking cups and fill it to about 80%, leaving some room at the top. Then the cookbook says to use a steamer or double boiler to cook the cake. I don't have a double boiler and the closest thing I have are these dumpling steamers, so I'm going to use that. We're supposed to steam these for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes I took them out and let them cool down, but I'm noticing that my cake is nowhere near as smooth as the book's. The Pichu cake in the book is nice and round, but mine is lumpy as heck and I have no idea where I went wrong. New question of the day. Why are my cakes so lumpy though? I'm not really feeling like making lumpy chews, so instead of using the lumpy top part, I decided to just cut the cake in slices so I can at least get some flatter surfaces for the face. Use those same flat cake discs to cut out some diamond-like shapes for Pichu's ears. The cookbook suggested to sprinkle cocoa powder on top of a cutout piece of paper to create the dark edges for the ears, but when I did, the powder just didn't look dark enough, so instead, I warmed up some Nutella and brushed that on the paper cutout instead. I received a much darker outline this way and I like the look way more. The Pichu in the cookbook is the spiky-eared version, but I decided to give love to the OG Pichu design because it's simple and also because it's easier. Add some raisins for the eyes. The cookbook also suggested to use cocoa powder for the nose and mouth, but again, that was just coming out way too light, so I used the melted Nutella again. Then I brushed on some strawberry jam for the cheeks, and the cookbook didn't ask for it, but I thought a bit more detail for the eyes would be cool, so I melted a bit of white chocolate and dotted the eye. All in all, not as nice looking as the cookbooks, but good enough. I also had an idea of doing the same thing but making Eevee instead. I used the same recipe except instead of adding yellow food coloring, I added a teaspoon of cocoa powder instead to give it that brown color. It still turned out lumpy, so I did the same thing by cutting them into slices and I used Nutella for the details. There we go, Pichu and Eevee. Time for a snack break. Let's try out some of these snacks from our friends over at Boxu. For those of you that don't know, Boxu is a monthly subscription service that delivers premium Japanese snacks and tea pairings straight from Japan to your door, with each month being a new theme providing you a gourmet journey through Japan. The first Boxu you'll receive is called Seasons of Japan and is curated to bring you a taste of Japan's 4 seasons, giving you an idea of what a year of Boxu would be like. After that, you'll receive a new monthly themed box, and this month's theme is Boxu Tanjobi, celebrating Boxu's 6th birthday. It comes with a booklet that tells you more about the theme, tells you which parts of Japan the snacks are from, and even teaches you some Japanese phrases. For their birthday celebration, Boxu has jam-packed, and I mean jam-packed this collection with some of the top-rated favorite snacks of Boxu members and staff, like these takoyaki corn puffs that are tangy, crispy umami bombs of flavor, and these rich strawberry mochi truffles that are delightfully chewy. If you like the combination of chocolate and strawberries, you are gonna love these. And look at this yuzu jelly. I've never seen this before and I don't even know how to eat it. I just dug in there and the aroma of the yuzu is amazing. Perfect balance of sweet and sour, and it's got such a good mouthfeel. Guys, I've been wanting to go to Japan for years. My friends and I actually had a trip booked for Japan last year, but of course I had to cancel it. I'm still gonna go, but until that fateful day, I'm so glad Boxu is able to bring a taste of Japan to me. Maybe you'd like Boxu to bring a taste of Japan to you. Click the link in the description and use my code MISO15 to get $15 off your first Boxu Japanese snack box. Not only will you be supporting the channel, but more importantly, you'll be treated to tasty, authentic Japanese snacks right to your door. Now let's make the Pikachu Happy Face cake. Look how cute that is. It's got a teddy bear-like texture that looks super cool. What's cool about this recipe is that it doesn't even involve any baking at all. It's pretty much just assembling it all together, which sounds pretty easy to me. We start by prepping some strawberries. The cookbook suggests to use 8 to 10 strawberries, wash them thoroughly and cut off the leaves, and then slice them in 1/4-inch portions. Now we make the cream by mixing a 7/8 cup of heavy whipping cream with 2 tablespoons of sugar. Whip that until stiff. Onto the syrup. Mix together 2 tablespoons of sugar with 4 tablespoons of water and microwave that for 15 to 30 seconds until the sugar is melted. Let the mixture cool down and then add in 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Time to assemble Pikachu's face. This recipe doesn't involve any baking because it suggests to use store-bought castella cake instead. It's a nice soft cake with a brown crust on top and the bottom. If you can't find any of these, you can use a lemon cake loaf or any kind of yellow cake as a substitute. We're going to do the main part first by placing 4 pieces of castella cake, kind of like in a quadrant, and then cut out a round shape. I used an egg ring to help me trace out the shape. For the ears, place 2 castella slices together and then cut out both ear shapes like so. Then you're supposed to cut each piece in half thickness wise, but these castella cakes are so delicate that I was kind of afraid to make them thinner because they might just crumble. I decided to just make another layer since I like more cake than cream anyway. For the leftover parts, save the brown parts for the eyes, ears, and mouth, and save the yellow parts for the fluffy layer at the end. Assemble the face and ears and then brush the syrup on the castella to get it nice and moist. Then spread the whipped cream over the cake and then the sliced strawberries on top of that. Cover it with another layer of whipped cream, then add the final layer of cake on top and brush that layer with syrup and then cover everything up with whipped cream. We're getting close. In a separate bowl, take leftover cake pieces that you saved and shred them with forks to create fine cake crumbs. Sprinkle those over the cake to get that fine fluffy yellow texture. Finally, for the face, cut out the ears, eyes, nose, and mouth shapes out of the brown parts that were left over and place them accordingly. Cut out some extra circles from the strawberries for the cheeks. The book didn't mention anything about the white dot on the eyes, but I decided to add them anyway by dotting some melted white chocolate. And there you have it, Pikachu's face in cake form. So cute. Finally, let's try these out. Starting with the Pichu and Eevee egg cakes, again this turned out pretty lumpy, but it's the inside that counts, right? On first bite I can tell that it's definitely eggy, not really fluffy at all, but more so dense. I'm sure I didn't cook it right, or maybe I didn't have the right equipment, but for a cookbook that's targeted towards children, I thought it would be more foolproof. The chocolate and raisin accents are purely decorative and doesn't add any flavor. The Eevee version did taste slightly different, obviously more chocolatey, but again, dense and nothing special. If I try making egg cakes again, I'm definitely opting to use a different recipe next time. Now to refresh my palate, I'm going to be drinking this Pichu drink with my Pichu cake. This is a kaffir lime flavored sparkling water. It's got a pretty pleasing aroma and I love me some citrusy drinks. You definitely get the hint of lime in there and it's overall pretty refreshing. Now for the big guy, let's have at this Pikachu cake. I'm actually really happy how it turned out. It looks epic and it was super easy to put together, but does it taste as good as it looks? It actually tastes pretty awesome. The cake itself is so soft and moist. The castella is just so light and fluffy and it absorbed that tangy lemony sweet syrup perfectly. I'm glad I doubled the castella amount because to me this is the perfect ratio of cake to cream. For the cross section, obviously it ain't as pretty as a homemade cake because you can see the edges of the castellas, but as long as it tastes fine, I'm happy. The cream isn't too sweet and the tartness from the syrup and strawberries is the perfect complement. If you're looking for a simple and easy dish for a Pikachu fan, I highly recommend this one. To finish it off, since this is a strawberry cake, I'm pairing it with a strawberry Yakult flavored sparkling soda. You already know how I feel about Yakult. Yakult gang, shout me out in the comments. This soda actually has a much more pronounced scent than the previous one. It actually kinda does have that Yakult smell, which is impressive. Taste-wise though, it doesn't taste as strong as it smells. It only has a slight strawberry taste, but doesn't taste like Yakult at all. Still refreshing, but this can't dethrone the king. Well, back to eating potato mochi. See y'all next time.